And so it's a great pleasure to introduce Joan Harper-Neely and Theresa Schwerin talking about the NASA Eclipse Spotlight Video Challenge Cloud Detectives, which is a super long name, but it sounds like a really super cool project. I'm so excited to hear about this. So I'll turn it over to you. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Jen. And we're so excited to be here today and tell you about a project that we see as another way to expand who engages in Globe. And for all of those who've been participating in the NASA Globe Cloud Challenge that's going on right now, awesome, and keep it up. But this is another way that you can use the data from the challenge with your Globe schools and educators and learners. So as Jen said, I'm Theresa Schwerin, and my favorite hat is, I like to let my hair fly in the breeze, but if I have to wear a hat, I have on a Washington Nats hat. That's what hat I wear. And Joan, what hat is your favorite?
Good afternoon, everyone. My favorite hat, I have several. And the one I had on earlier today is I learned to knit, so I made a little knit hat.
And so Joan is with the National Institute of Aerospace and down in the Hamptons Crossroads area of Virginia. And I'm with the Institute for Global Environmental Strategies up in Northern Virginia. And we're both with different NASA projects. Joan's project is the NASA Eclipse project, and as part of that is the Spotlight Video Challenge. And my NASA project is the NASA Earth Science Education Collaborative. We're a Globe partner, but our NESIC project also includes 2 Globe international field campaigns. It includes Citizen Science with Globe Observer. And for this collaboration between our 2 projects, some of the team members that you all know, Jessica Taylor, who is a PI for NASA Globe Clouds, has been a part of developing this collaboration, as Trina Farrell and Holly Cole. So if you go to the next slide, what we'd like to keep this informal, but at the end, we'd like you to think about a couple of questions when we get to the end and some discussion, to be thinking about these. As you hear about this Spotlight Video Challenge, Cloud Detectives, think about how can we best or better engage the Globe community's participation. And then thinking ahead, because we're hoping to make this a multi-year effort, one of the things that you'll learn is the Spotlight Video Challenges are centered around misconceptions and dispelling misconceptions. And so think about, are there any additional misconceptions to consider for future NASA Spotlight Video Challenges, particularly related to Globe clouds, mosquito habitats, land covering trees? And as we go through, if you have questions, speak up or put them in the chat. And when we get to the end, we'll come back to these questions. So let's go to the next slide. And I'm going to turn it over to Joan to tell you about the Spotlight Design Challenges.
Yes, so it's been a great partnership. I do want to recognize Betsy as my team member, my teammate, and my buddy at work, so she can answer questions as well. But I want to start out and introduce the Spotlight Design Challenge to this video that was made by a student using a free app that she found, but it gives a quick overview of the project.
NASA Spotlights are student-produced videos that are designed to disprove or debunk science misconceptions. The theme this year is, of course, clouds. These 90 to 120-second videos are written, filmed, edited, and produced by students like you using the engineering design process. With this challenge, you have the opportunity for your video to be featured on the NASA Eclipse website, which will be used to support science lessons and teachers across the United States. This helps NASA, who wants these videos to help improve our understanding of science. Are you ready? Get set to gather your team, get your equipment ready, and make your video. NASA Spotlight.
So that was a really quick, and I cannot see anyone at all, so you have to speak up and
I'll
can
keep
talk
an
as much
eye.
as you want.
I'll keep an eye on the
I
chat,
like it
Joan, and
interactive.
if there are any questions, I'll speak
Perfect.
up, or other folks
Okay.
can unmute.
Well, I do have a question. Why NASA Spotlight Video Design Challenge? So why do you think we're asking kids to make videos as opposed to doing a picture or something different? Please put your responses in the chat. Or you guys can unmute and just say it out loud if you would like as well.
So it's engaging and creative for the students.
Mm-hmm.
And Dave is saying kids love videos.
Yes.
And Jen, you learn better when you're explaining it to someone else. Videos can be accessible during online learning, flipped classrooms, etc. From Christy.
Good responses. All right. So those are great responses. And we recognize based on experience with students and through our research that the videos meet just about everyone's learning style and it's high interest because as someone said, kids love making videos and talking and explaining things. It's very engaging. It's a great authentic performance assessment. So kids are demonstrating their learning as opposed to checking the A, B, C, or D choice. And then there are lots of soft skills involved as well. And one thing that I think I really want to highlight is students who love to write will enjoy because they get to write a script. Students who love acting or the visual arts, they could design the set or come up with some props to use. This meets their needs as well. And it's also great for problem solving, teaching kids how to problem solve. And I just threw this link in. I found some current, current couple of years ago, research or articles about using videos in the classroom. And students love, and not the students, but people, if you look at Facebook or TikTok, people love to film themselves. And so this kind of folds all that into what people like to do and how they like to receive and share information. All right, and I'm pausing in case anybody has something to say.
And I'm putting the links in the chat as we go along.
Okay. All right, so we say it's the process that counts. So this challenge is wrapped around, or we incorporate the engineering design process. And what do you know about the process? Have you used it before? How have you used it? So I would like to hear your thoughts about that. All right, are you typing, or you can unmute as well? Has anyone used the process before, engineering design?
And some people are saying that they haven't used it. They're somewhat familiar. They've used it to solve problems. They've focused on problems.
Okay. And for this challenge, we came up with the engineering design process in a graphic form, which you will have access to. And it takes, for those who aren't too familiar, it takes students through a series of steps to solve a problem. And the solution involves designing a product that meets certain criteria. And you'll see the criteria later in a minute. And so the students have to read the criterion constraints and create a product. And if you notice around near the bottom, build or create, refine, design. Build, create, test, or evaluate and refine the design or redesign. That's in a loop because they may have to do something again or do it a different way in order to successfully meet the challenge. And we broke this project down into some key components. Each video has an introduction. We would like introduction. So we have the logos that are available, the NASA Spotlight logo. The kids usually come up with a really good title, and that somewhat includes the topic, the misconception. The engaged part is where the kids are creative and they come up with a clever way to introduce the misconception in a real world setting. And the part that we are really highlighting and we really want kids to do is the demonstration part. So we want them to get people excited about doing science and say, try this. And we usually find activities or demonstrations where the materials are accessible and easy to get. And then at the end, it's the credits, and we're teaching good responsibility where we're asking kids to cite sources. If they use someone else's resources, something they didn't create, we want them to cite their sources at the end.
And so the Cloud Detectives Challenge is one of 3. When you go to the Spotlight Videos website, there is a challenge related to Mars misconceptions, one related to moon misconceptions, and cloud detectives. And so our challenge is to produce a short, up to 2-minute video confronting one of 2 misconceptions related to clouds, and to do that by investigating and collecting evidence, including globe clouds data and NASA data. So step 1, they would pick the misconception and then make a claim refuting that misconception. And the 2 cloud detectives misconceptions are 1, all clouds produce rain, or 2, clouds are made of gas. And so the counterclaim that would refute that would be either not all clouds produce rain or clouds are made of water. If you go to the next slide. And so continuing with that first one, step 3 would then investigate and make observations to gather evidence to test that claim. And so the Cloud Detectives Challenge is a little bit different than the other challenges, which focus on a demonstration. So we wanted to kind of test out something. Could we expand it a little bit to bring in evidence and globe data, get kids taking observations to help prove that claim or provide evidence to test their claim. And so for that claim, not all clouds produce rain, they would observe and record data about clouds, either using the Globe Observer app or Globe Cloud data collection sheets. You could also go back and look at cloud data from the challenge. And then we provide some starter resources, some videos. There's a Globe Cloud Science, say that fast 3 times, video, the Our World Eclipse videos that are Our World is designed for about middle school age learners. Is that correct, Joan? Our World
is elementary. Mm-hmm.
Elementary. And then you have other levels of videos that are part of the NASA Eclipse and Our World Cloud. Cool Clouds. Could also look at NASA visualizations, and we have some links to a couple of different NASA visualizations related to clouds for them to look at and think about and observe carefully. Is this providing evidence that's helping to test that claim that not all clouds produce rain? And then they would plan and create their video. For the second claim, it's mostly focused on demonstrations. So the particular demonstration of clouds are made of water, that claim, it's the cloud in a jar, cloud in a bottle, the demonstration project. So if we go to the next slide.
Yes, I want to focus a little bit more on step 3, and where the kids are collecting evidence through the investigation. In this case, it's observation. And this is the first part of the video we want students to film. Before, we used to have the kids write the script and come up the engaging way to get the viewers to learn about the misconception. But teachers, because we do this activity with science teachers, they want to make sure the kids understand the science and have that part done first. So that part is easy to do. And that gives them practice using that equipment if they haven't done it before. So we asked the student producers, is what we call them, to get the materials, collect the materials, and tell students tell the viewer that they need to get either some rubbing alcohol or whatever the materials are. The key here is to make sure that there are no brand names showing on the items. So, because NASA doesn't, if we're going to produce these or place them on our website, NASA doesn't want product labels on in the video. Help me say that. And then we want the student producers to demonstrate how to set up the investigation. And we also ask them to help the viewer stay safe. So give them some tips on staying safe. And so I have a little clip from this video that demonstrates how to do that.
If you still don't totally understand the phases of the moon, try this for yourself.
All you need is a ball, like a baseball, to represent the moon, and a lamp to represent the sun. Your head will represent the earth.
Go into a dark room with your materials and turn off all the lights.
And don't forget the lamp.
In order to do this, your Earth, Moon, Sun system needs to be set up as so.
Let's see if we can get the Earth shadow to create some of the moon shadows. Here we are starting at a new moon. Since the moon has a slightly tilted orbit, the moon should be below eye level for the new moon.
The side of the moon facing you is entirely in the shadow. Remember, your head represents the Earth. Where is your head shadow? Is it possible for your head shadow to be on the moon for this phase? Nope.
Therefore, the Earth's shadow could not cause a new moon.
If we fast forward approximately 7 days, we will know.
Right.
If you still don't tell.
So that was a good demonstration, excuse me, or a good example of how we want kids to get other students to try the science experiment or collect the data. I did want to highlight the Explore segment is where students are engaging other students. And we want the viewer to see themselves as citizen science and help collect data like they do with Globe. That's why this is a good fit for us using the Globe protocol. And it helps develop this science inquiry skills. Question?
There was a question in the chat that Betsy answered, but just in case others have it, the question was, are there ages for the challenge? Is it K-12 or can we engage college students? And Betsy had answered that you've had upper elementary, middle and high school and have worked with college students during the summer.
Yes. We've had, I think the youngest grade level was 3rd grade and they made sock puppets. So they found a way, and let me click here and go to this. So this is our picto chart and it's an infographic. And so we're, excuse me, working with tech girls and they were doing an activity or a lesson on making infographics. So I made it for them. But here, and you'll have access to this as well, it has some general information about the challenge. And it says who can participate. And we just restrict it to if you're under 13 and above, your face can be seen on camera. If you're under 13, your face cannot be seen on camera. And that's part of just making sure our students are protected. We don't use special equipment. We've done this with cell phones or with tablets. Some schools that had the equipment, the high-end equipment, used it, of course, but anyone can do it with just some basic tools they already have. And we found lots of resources of free video editing tools that you can use as well. And so here's just another way to present the challenge. There's a try this. So first, select your misconception. We just did the demonstration and you're gonna video the materials. And then once you have that demonstration videotaped, you're gonna identify a real world example to introduce the misconception. And so here I just had a simple graphic, little cartoony, where we have 3 people walking and a girl says, "I love looking at clouds, what are they made of?" And the guy says they're made of gas. And then the other person says, "I'm pretty sure that they're not made of gas and let's investigate." something, a short storyline, quick and simple and easy like that is all we need. And then that gets the student producers to get the other students to try the science, to do the little investigation to collect evidence. And so I just took some shots of the app here for Cloud Detectives. Theresa kind of already went over that, but if you had more questions, we're here to help you as well. And so what do we do with these videos? Well, the exemplary videos we post on our website, and it becomes part of a science lesson. And we use the 5E model to create our lessons. And this is the engage as well as the explore part of the 5E lesson. We partner with Nearpod, and we have about 15-ish lessons on Nearpod. I don't know how many people have used it, but it's a win-win for everyone. So the kids are excited because their work is being seen across the US. Teachers are excited because they have materials to use with their students. And so they're showing through using these videos that students can help teach science, and that the student is videos your age, so you can do this science as well. So this is why it's one of my favorite projects, and I hope that we have some more Globe community try these with their students. So some key information. We're running our second cycle of the challenge, and registrations is going on actively now. And in February, between January and March 25th, when they do, is when you start producing your video. So February is kind of when you're really getting into it with your students. I recommend not letting it go for the whole month, but shorten the time frame and intentionally picking a certain amount of time that students work on certain parts of the video. Give them some firm deadlines. If you let it go on too long, they kind of lose interest and steam. And then if you're working with summer programs, we're going to run this challenge again in the summer, and the videos will be due by July 31st. Right. And we hope you have your kids join a production team. And then I can share with you, this is on Common Sense Education. They review all these tools and they give feedback. And so you can search their website for free resources and for certain grade levels. And then they tell you the pros and cons of each one. So I love this website. So, and we can also help you if you're working on, I'm hoping we have some takers today. If you're going to do the Spotlight Challenge, we don't just give it to you and leave you out there to kind of flounder. We will help you. So just stay in contact with us. Okay, Theresa.
So let's take a look back at the chat. There were a couple of additional questions, and then we'll come back to our other reflection questions. We had lots of good questions as we went along. Kristen Weaver had asked, we had someone contact us through the Globe Observer website contact form asking a couple of things. Since we have the challenge pointed to on our page, I suggested they get in touch with Joan, but the two main questions were, can students outside of the US participate? And I believe the answer is yes.
Yes, we've had, for some reason, India loves this project, and we've had so far about 6 videos submitted. Some students have signed themselves up without adults knowing, so I had to have them go back and get adult sponsor. But yes, so that, to answer your question, yes.
And the other was, is there a limit to how many students can work on a team? And Betsy put a response to the chat about, we found that a 3 to 4 person teams work best, but there isn't a specified limit to the number of students on a team.
Yes, and we would like a team. We've had one student do one by herself, which was good, but the whole purpose is, if we go back to the beginning of the presentation, why do a video, is to help kids be interactive and problem solve together.
And Barbara asked, how do you handle the back end of submissions? Where are they stored? Are they reviewed before others can see them? And Betsy had responded, all videos are reviewed. And that's part of our collaboration is our team, particularly our cloud scientists will be reviewing it as well. They are all reviewed, and we try to work actively with groups to provide feedback and ask for teams to edit and resubmit.
Yes, and go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Our team met because we have a lot of submissions and we want students to see their work. So we can't, unless they're approved, we can't put them on our nasa.gov site, but we're going to build out a YouTube page or, a page, I think YouTube, and we're looking at another option where students can post the students' videos as a gallery.
So that's why I was asking, because Susan Cox and I work for the Forest Service with USDA. We've had some conversations about collecting student videos, but there's always this question. I was hoping to use Flipgrid, but I haven't been able to get past the security restrictions for using Flipgrid. And so I was just wondering how you collect your videos. Do they email them to you, or does it go to a box site, or where are they submitted to?
It's called Form Site. So let me go to the website. So under Publish, I should have taken you to the website. Where's our submit button? Here we go. Publish. And this is our form site, and we use this one because of the security, because we are collecting some information from the teachers about location, and then the students, if they're 13 or over, have to have a media release form signed by their parents, and so we make sure those items stay secure. So their videos are uploaded here, and you can do, well, some people, you can upload a couple different ways. You can upload a file, or you can upload the link if you have it on a Google Drive or on a YouTube.
Sure. Thank you so much.
And I think, Christy, you had a question, I'm scrolling back, about how does filming work in the classroom with schools that do not allow phones or tablets, and examples with regular camera and separate microphone. And Betsy did a great job answering these questions as went along. Answered, some schools have carts of iPads that they've used. Others have gotten special permission for students to use cell phones during the project. Other schools may have cameras and studios. And Betsy did note that all of these resources are on the NASA Eclipse website.
And some other options, the first video I showed you made by our student intern, that's an option as well, to do, I forget, that was called Animoto, I think was the name of that website. And then you can also do like a whiteboard animation as well.
Did we miss any questions folks had before we go on to in the last minutes we have? I think we caught them all. If we didn't, if you want to put that again in the chat, but maybe we could go back one slide. And are there any thoughts on how we might engage the Globe community to participate in this? What we've done, we're having this water cooler. We've included it in the Globe monthly news. We've put it out on the US partners. What are other ways that we might engage the Globe community in this challenge? And you can either unmute or use the chat, but we'd really like to hear your thoughts on that.
Well, at least on my end over here in El Paso, what we tried to do a long time ago is like before the pandemic, we would have outreach programs for the community at the community college. And so we would have something for Earth Day or something for Earth Science Week, something related to that. And I remember what we did was we tried to highlight the environmental, changes that we were undergoing at the time. I guess in that time it was about, we learned about volcanoes, but more about I mean, that was part of the training, but more about the climate changes that were occurring. And we tied into the actual dance group that we have there at the community college. And they basically did this performance that was all student driven, and was performed so that the people who actually saw them dance, they were able to understand a little bit more, because it was a dance performance that was centered around water conservation. And I think one of those things, and that was really, I think, kind of like a big eye opener, was that people wanted to see this. They wanted to see that dance. And I think at the same time, we had like a globe booth at this event, and a lot of people started asking us questions because of that feedback that they got from that performance, and it was tied in pretty well with the people who are actually doing promoting Earth Science Week from USGS and whatnot. So I think that may be another way to really, piggyback on other events like that. And I think, and like I said, it worked for us, and we had an increase in involvement with people trying to do the Globe Observer cloud measurements and observations. And I think from there, it really kind of started taking off a little bit more. That's a possible suggestion that might actually help, especially to try to, you get like one event and you grab everybody's attention, and you go on to the next, and then you do another event, and it just kind of builds from there.
And to add a little to that, for the college level, Virginia Tech did a 48-hour film challenge with the Spotlight challenge. And so the kids had a set time to create a video. And so it was like a little competition within this competition.
It's a cool idea. Any other thoughts? I guess on the Spotlight Challenge page, there are lots of resources. Is there like a flyer that someone could use if you're doing an event that they might download from that site?
I can email it to them. It's here it is. So we have a flyer like this, and then we have like a regular 8.5 by 11 size flyer. But if you're emailing it, that doesn't matter so much the size anymore. But we do have it in a couple formats. We also have it in Spanish. If someone was working with a Spanish group, we have it translated.
Okay.
Not this poster, but the flyer we do. All right.
Do you have some of, oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just speaking kind of after John's idea. I was just thinking that, and actually the other college one too, do you have a list of ways that teachers could offer this? Because I'm just thinking, like a lot of them will have, at least in our area, a 1 week off class time, right? Or even a day of, I don't know, it's just they put in like workshop days for kids, right? Or a workshop week. And I was just thinking that would be a great project for that. And so I was thinking what I might do is come up with a list of ways that teachers could do the challenge, because a lot of times they're not thinking maybe, oh, I don't have time in my regular class to add this in, but it might be a great offering for some of these other things where the kids sign up for a week of different workshops. So that could be a different format of it. And I don't know if other people have some other ideas, because I would love to hear them too, because I'm just thinking about that kind of information for teachers is sometimes helpful, right? Because the first idea is, I don't have time to add one more thing. But if we can think of other ways that they might add it in, and that was in some sort of flyer or something like that, that would be very helpful for me.
Yeah.
And this is also for in school and out of school too. So, and as Joan had talked about the schedule earlier, we're going to go into the summer. So if someone is running summer programs, you could incorporate it into part of that.
Yeah, we had a group from Florida summer camp. They did 2 sessions, and they were able to pick because they were a unique setting, and they worked with wildlife. Well, they exposed is more of ecology and estuary, I think is where they were. Betsy helped me, and I can't remember. But they came up with their own misconceptions, like snakes are slimy, and they created a video around that. So there's lots of applications to use. But of course, we want to promote the Globe Challenge because we would love some more videos about clouds to add to our lessons.
And I'm going to put my email and Joan's in the chat. So do get in touch.
And I'll follow up, I guess, Theresa, I'll send you all the resources we have, and I guess that you'll figure out where they go to get them to the community.
And folks, if you participate in this or as you're thinking about it, as I mentioned earlier, we want to make this an ongoing collaboration. So if you think of other misconceptions related to clouds, mosquito habitats, land cover, and trees, globe protocols, let us know, because we're going to be, after this round, we're going to be thinking about it. And Betsy, thanks so much for putting Joan's email in there. I appreciate that.
Thank you. And Betsy's too. Betsy.
Yes, Betsy.
Oh, yeah, I guess I could do that. Joan's the queen, though.
She is the queen.
How many people are actually interested in and would like to try it? I just want to like. I see David.
Yeah. I'm going to share it with my teachers for sure. Yeah.
Perfect. And we do training. We do trainers. Sharon, who's not with us, who's our leader. Betsy and I, we do what she says. Sharon Bowers. We want to go to a camp and show the campers, the camp leaders, how to run the challenge. So we're willing to, based on location and timing, we would like to go and show how to get it done. We've done it in a short camp. It was a 4-day camp, and we had 3 videos made at the end of the camp. And they weren't a full day either, but they were dedicated to making Spotlight. So
yeah.
And that was with high schoolers. So it's doable and it's fun. I think sometimes teachers get hung up on making the video part. It's important, but getting the kids engaged is the most important part, in my opinion.
And I'll tell you, Joan, Joan and Betsy and Sharon are amazing. And so Joan has, ask me, but they are amazing. If you want to follow up and go more deeply into this, they're a great team to work with.
Yeah, thank you. Great presentation and great material, and congratulations on all the amazing work that you do. We are reaching out to underserved some groups here in Massachusetts, and especially some areas in western part of Massachusetts. And we are reaching out to those Girl Scouts who are actually looking for something like this. So we will make sure that they have information and contact with you.
Thank you.
And we'll put all of the links that were put into this chat when we post this on our YouTube channel. So all of those links will go there along with the emails and things like that. So we can make sure that we kind of do the full circle. And hopefully we'll get to that quickly now that we have a little bit of time freed up after the holidays. I can dig out. We got a little behind on our water cooler postings, but we are getting caught up right now. So Haley just sent me 3 of them to post. I'm sure yours will come shortly afterwards. So we'll be flooding the YouTube channel, which is often a great thing, right? Because then people don't have to check back every week. They can just check back and watch all 4 at once.
There you go.
There's always a bright side around here. So wherever you're from, we are at the top of the hour, 3 minutes after, if not by my clock. I just want to thank Betsy, Joan, and Theresa for presenting to us. It was great. And we will make sure we get this out about this particular challenge. I think that it's a very cool way to use video for students. So we will get this out and hopefully see lots of Globe students in video in their presentations. So that will be awesome.